Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the no item challenge and completing another mission for the Fighting Legend Goku event with no items. So this is, I think, one of the last no item Fighting Legend Goku events we'll do for a while. Switch back to, well, we might do a couple more and then we'll switch back. We'll try some different content. I've done some red zones as well, so just, doing kind of a little bit less organized until we get back to the SBRs basically. But yeah, so time travelers, interesting category. Plenty of leads nowadays. You've got Int, Goku Black, who's a lead. You've got Strength, Bojack, who's a lead. Just got some pretty strong options, really. Some good teams. Super Hearts is probably my favorite time travelers lead. Just overall, I actually think he's a great unit. So yeah, just good stuff in general, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I like the time travelers team. Obviously a bit of a mismatched team. There's not like the craziest amount of super good linking units, especially from an extreme side. You can definitely do a much more interesting team on the super side, but then it's kind of more of a future saga team in reality than anything else. So I wanted to do something with the extreme units because it's always a bit of fun to use extreme teams, and I think time travelers is kind of in that really fun, interesting space. So basically taking a look at things, taking a look at the team, I think it's fairly obvious the rotations, or at least to me it's fairly obvious the rotations that we're going to run. We have some pretty interesting units. We've got, obviously, for example, as an option to run, we are running the Tech LR Rose Masu. Obviously after their EZA, a very, very solid unit with a whole bunch of very interesting abilities. They have that ability to guard in the first couple turns, which is really good. They then also have all those build-up abilities, from getting hit, which is also incredibly good. They have that recovery, so that 15% recovery. They have 2 key and 50% defense at the start of turn. They have an additional 50% defense for the first 3 turns and guarding all attacks. They then have attack and defense at 30% with each attack received. So that's kind of like their big, I want to say, capability, right? Is that they have that whole build up, and it can build up really well. Not to mention that on their 18 key, they stack defense for 6 turns at 30%, which is pretty good. So they can get very strong defensively. Then alongside them, we're running the Rose, or the Rose, I should say, the Super Saiyan Rose, the Strength Super Saiyan Rose, and just obviously he in his own right is an incredibly good unit. Very, very great links with them. Shares all the crucial links, which I think is really, really, really important. Not to mention gives them a huge chunk of support, 50% defense, an additional 50% attack for Realm of the Gods allies, which they are. And yeah, just in general, it's just a strong unit, like a very, very good unit, very strong, very capable, has really good capabilities. Nice synergy, and if he gets the final strike, which you can arrange somewhat decently in Fighting Legend Goku, then he sits pretty well. And then the final member from that kind of like Goku Black era of the Time Travelers team, or area of the Time Travelers team I should say, is the Int one. Now this unit I'm desperate to get an EZA, because I think he could really be something super duper awesome. But he greatly raises defense in his base form and in his transform state. But in his transform state, he's really, really awesome. So you want him to transform as soon as possible, which means you need to keep your health up. But that's not too much of a problem nowadays in the Goku event. But obviously, remember, we can't use items, so we just have to be smart about it. But yeah, he really, his benefits that he gains after transforming is awesome. He gets 50% crit chance, which is insane. Like, this is a unit from 2018. that had a 50% crit chance in his transform state. That is huge in terms of damage. And he gives 3 ki, which is really good, and his animations are actually really awesome as well. So yeah, honestly, like, I like this unit a lot. Like, I cannot paraphrase how excited I am for his eventual EZA. Like, his EZA for me is going to be like extra, like an extra awesome time in Dokkan. Like, it's going to be a really, really good time, I think, overall. I think he looks so good, and yeah, I think in general, he just looks really, really, really solid. So yeah, obviously that's kind of the the Goku Black side of things. I think it's fairly obvious the other rotation that we're rocking. It's Incel, who after his EZA, if you really need me to go through it, but he's just really, really awesome. Super strong unit. Does just really good damage in general. Obviously, if we get low, we also have his heal, which is great. And then we just have like a lot that he brings to the table. Like, always so much that he brings to the table. Like, he just, not so much like in, how can I say, not so much in like terms of him being, egregiously broken, but just his damage, just everything, man. Everything this guy does is just like, wow. It's just really, really good. So yeah, I really like him a lot. And obviously we haven't paired up with the physical cell, which is self-explanatory, I guess. Obviously you kind of want to run the physical one. They share a ton of links. The physical one's great in the second slot as well. And Incel's defense in the first slot is pretty decent, especially if you've got him max link leveled. It's really, really, really not bad in any way, shape or form. So yeah, nice combo. These two, really, really, really solid combo. Overall, just a lot of fun. And I think in general, they're just really, really good. And then to close things out, we have one of the newer EZAs in the form of Bojack. So Bojack, just doing his thing, really, not like doing anything special, but not being bad, if that makes sense. Just kind of running him, really enjoying running him, sometimes switching him in for the physical cell. He shares decent links with cell. So yeah, just honestly, just a really nice unit to kind of run. I just wanted to give him a bit of spotlight time, especially considering his EZA was recent, so thought we might as well use him. But just a unit that's just kind of exists as a good unit. I know that sounds weird for people to hear, like, oh, what does that mean, a good unit? No, he's just in the right ballpark in terms of numbers. Good attack stats, decent defense stats, enough raw defense with a dupe to handle red zone, which is very admirable, is kind of the numbers you want. He can't tank supers from red zone, but that's okay. He brings a little bit of utility, which is nice. And that's kind of what I mean by when you say like a unit is, a good unit, like just a generic good unit. They don't necessarily always have to be top of the line, but Bojack brings enough to the table that things are fine. Overall, the team does the event really, really fine, really, really chilled. There's honestly not too much that you need to be aware of. Like maybe just the physical cell during the strength phase is maybe a slight concern. Depends on how many dupes you have. Depends on if you get this ultra super attack or not. But yeah, in general, you really don't have to like be too openly concerned. Generally speaking, more than fine. The team holds up, does its own thing, cooks quite well, just in general has a good time. There's plenty of options for time travel as well. Like I said, you can roll with Super Hearts as your lead, you can roll with a whole bunch of DB Heroes units, you can roll with a whole bunch of Trunks, Future Trunks units, things like that. There's plenty you can do. You don't need to run specifically this team. this team was just a bit of fun for me to run, and considering the build and everything and how many interesting units you can kind of stick together. And it's got alright synergy, like it's got decent synergy. I'm not saying it breaks the bank when it comes to synergy, but I think it actually does a really decent job and looks really good. You know, it's got some solid pairings, solid rotations. The abilities all work quite well in sync. You've got a heal from Cell, you've got great defense from the Zamasu Goku Black rotation. It's just a fun time. It's not like a overtly complex team. You've got 2 set rotations, you've got a couple floating units that just kind of do their thing. Overall, it's just a lot of fun, and I personally think it's a great time. And yeah, I just you know, it's cool. I like to run this team. I think, yeah, it is very dupe heavy, so like you'll experience a faster or better scenario depending on how many dupes you have. And I think leveling, as always for extreme teams, is important. Can't really change that. Extreme units tend to have big red bosses, they tend to have thirst for conquest, they tend to have, you know, like in Cell's case, gentlemen or things like this, where you really do need to like put some effort in if you want to see the best versions of these units, you know, like the absolute best versions of them. But yeah, that is basically going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just as always, something different and just a cool little team to build. Obviously we would have done this free to play as well, so yeah, it's nice to see kind of both sides of the coin as always. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you can leave a like. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.